There's a special kind of pride that you feel deep down inside, a strength that seems to thrive in Lima, Allen County.
The American way of life, to get in gear and do what's right.
An unbreakable forthright link called real American strength. Lima, Allen County, real American strength.
Keeping you up to date with what's happening in your community. Community Focus on GTV2. Thanks for joining us on Community Focus. I'm Ann Decker. There is a new school-based health clinic at the Lima City Schools, and here in the studio to give us details is Jill Ackerman, who is the superintendent. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us about the clinic.
Well, we're excited to have partnered with Allen County Health Partners. We've been in discussions to do this for a while. They're going to lease some space in our high school that actually is a really nice setup with its own separate entranceway, and have a health clinic that is based simply for school, for our Lima City school kids and their families. It will be housed with a nurse practitioner. There'll be a receptionist there. There will be a nurse practitioner there. They will have a licensed social worker there, and they will have a part-time dentist there as well. So our students that need to see a doctor will be able to call the 8th Street Clinic and get an appointment right there at Lima Senior High School. They'll take all kinds of insurances. They have the sliding scale fee for Medicaid and Medicare, and then they'll be able to have access to their full-service pharmacy as well, and prescriptions can even be delivered.
How handy. It
will be available for our staff members in the Lima City Schools as well. So we're really excited about it. It will be open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30 all year round. So even over the Christmas breaks and things like that, if kids are not feeling well, rather than trying to get into the doctor or go to the emergency room, they'll be able to access the health clinic. This will not eliminate our school nurses. They're very, very important to us for all of the first aid, for the daily medications. We have a lot of diabetics, a lot of asthmatics, lots of kids with high medical needs, so our nurses are going to stay intact. But the nurses can certainly, if they see a child and they feel that they need to go, for a doctor, to see a doctor, that they'll be able to refer them to that clinic. Our high school kids, everybody will have a signed consent from their parents. If they see the nurse and she feels that they need to see the nurse practitioner, they'll be able to just go right to the clinic at school. The parents will be notified that they're being seen, and they can be diagnosed there and get whatever it is that they need. So ultimately, we hope that it will help with attendance for students and for staff. Everybody will have full access. So
why the decision to open the clinic?
Well, they approached us because they wanted to expand their services. They expanded into the north end of Lima a few years ago, and at that time we were talking about, were we able to have a clinic possibly like in North School. But they did open that North End clinic, and then they wanted to do something to serve school community. So it's not open to the public, but it will serve the whole Lima City school community.
That's really wonderful.
So it really is their initiative. We just happen to be able to be their partners in it, so we're pretty excited about it.
And is it being well received and well used so far?
Well, it will open in August.
I'm
sorry,
okay.
I didn't make that clear. It will open in August. It will have its own separate entrance at the high school. I mean, it's a perfect setup. It's handicap accessible. There'll be a big sign on the front of the building. When you enter the building, you'll see it on the left. There's a reception area. There'll be a seating area, so the parents won't have to worry about trying to go through the high school to find the clinic.
Sure.
It will be right there. So it will open at the beginning of the school year. So we just signed the MOU with our Board of Education. We anticipate that they'll be in there this summer making whatever necessary changes they need to make, and then they'll begin to lease that space in August.
That's a really wonderful service.
It is. We're excited about it. And also, it's kind of unique in Ohio. I think maybe in Cincinnati there might be some school districts that have them, but it's a very rare. You do not find school-based health clinics in very many schools. So we're happy to be spearheading that as well.
Well, it's really a great service for the students and their families.
Yes.
The other big news for May is graduation's coming up.
It is, and we just finished doing our senior portfolio project presentations. Those were absolutely wonderful. Our kids have experienced the prom. There's a lot happening for them right now. So our senior convocation will be held on Wednesday, May 28th, starting at 8:30, and that's a red carpet event in which we usually give over $2 million in scholarships to our graduating seniors. So it is a very, very wonderful morning. People from all around the community come. People will give out the scholarships to our students, and it's just a delightful time. And then after that, on Sunday, June 1st, will be our graduation ceremony at 4 p.m. And it will be in the high school this year because of the renovations
You don't
at the
have a
stadium.
stadium.
Right. So it will be inside. All of the kids were given 7 tickets and allowed to get more if they needed to. And then we'll set up in our auditorium and in our commons area for any overflow if we need to do that. But our gymnasium really does seat a lot of people, so we anticipate that it will be nice and comfortable. It can be air conditioned if it needs to be. We won't have to worry about the weather like we do all the time. So, and the wind, it's always so
Sure.
windy in the spring. So we're looking forward to that as well. We anticipate about 200 graduates, and they all have exciting stories to tell about their experiences in high school and what their careers are going to be. So we're looking forward to it.
Wonderful. Anything else going on we need to know about?
Well, this month is packed with musicals, of course. We have the Magnet Schools performing The Pirates of Penzance, and that will be on Friday, May 9th at 7 o'clock at the high school. And then the following Friday, there will be a Lima Senior High Band concert at the auditorium. There's stuff almost every single evening, lots of award ceremonies and things like that. But everything is listed on our new website, so they can go to that at www.limacitysschools.org. That was made in-house, and it has a really nice calendar with all the events. There's literally something to do every single evening.
Right. And you have Facebook alerts too if people would just want to sign up for your Facebook.
We have Facebook, and they also can follow us on Twitter.
Wonderful. Yeah, there's certainly no shortage of information from the Lima City Schools.
And there's always something to do.
Okay, we appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Sure, Jill Ackerman from the Lima City Schools. When we come back, we will get a Head Start update from LACCA right after this on GTV2.
A message from the Allen County Chiefs Association.
With the recent rise in juvenile crime, all Allen County police agencies are stepping up our efforts to reduce this with the enforcement of curfew laws.
This affects anyone under the age of 18. Local laws may vary in age and time requirements among the villages, townships, and cities in the county, so please help us in our efforts by becoming familiar with the curfew law.
Please check the websites on your screen for specific curfew information. Together we can make Lima Allen County a safer place in which to live and work.
Crime Stoppers is still active in the Allen, Putnam, and Van Wert counties. Our goal is to assist area law enforcement officers to identify and locate individuals who have committed crimes. If you have any information about anyone who is responsible for committing crimes, please call Crime Stoppers at area code 419-229-STOP.
Crime Stoppers! Crime Stoppers! Make the call and pay! Crime Stoppers!
Reduce, recycle, reuse. Allied Waste Services in the City of Lima encourage you to live green by recycling all that you can. Recycling promotes green living by reducing the amount of waste materials buried in landfills. This saves money, natural resources, and energy. Keep our environment healthy and start recycling today. Allied Waste Services is committed to a clean environment. Contact us today for your recycling needs. Visit our website, republicservicesohio.com, to learn more about recycling today.
We're back on Community Focus. I'm Ann Decker, and I'm pleased to welcome to the studio today Dawn Smith, she's with the Lima City Schools, and Phyllis Montrose with the Lima Allen Council on Community Affairs, and it is time for kindergarten camp. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Kindergarten Camp is a program for students that will be entering kindergarten this year. It just helps them make the transition from preschool, or if they haven't had any schooling experience, to find out what kindergarten is going to be like. We use hands-on projects to teach reading and math skills.
Okay, so this is for what? Any student in Allen County who's entering kindergarten
Yes,
this year?
any student in Allen County who's entering kindergarten this year.
Okay, and it's regardless of income?
It's regardless of income. This is actually our 6th year, and it's funded through United Way. So it's a partnership with United Way, LACCA, and Lima City Schools.
There really isn't a whole lot for kids that age in this community during the summer, is there?
No, in Allen County we don't provide a lot for them, so that's why kindergarten camp is so unique. It's 5 weeks. It starts July 7th and it ends August 7th. The children come Monday through Thursday, and it starts at 8:30 to 1:30. And we also provide breakfast and lunch for them.
Oh wow, what a great deal. So mom gets them out of the house for a few hours and they get fed besides. And what do you do with the kids when they're in with you?
Our general theme is the farm, so they're learning about the farm. We'll bring in some live animals, like we'll hatch chicken eggs or duck eggs.
Fun.
And we just do all kinds of activities based on the theme of the farm, but we're incorporating, like I said, reading skills, math skills, just general social skills, how to cooperate with others during the day, how to sit in a seat. Things
Sit still in a seat.
Another exciting part of kindergarten camp is also where Lima City teachers and HeadStart teachers are in a classroom together, and we're actually learning skills from each other. This year we're going to add a Perry teacher and a Lida elementary teacher into the classrooms.
Well, that's wonderful
So
cooperation.
the goal was just so that not only do the kids get an opportunity to see what happens in a kindergarten classroom, kind of get some of those feelings of the building. You know, I remember our first year, the principal said it was no more tears. So as the children came in the fall, they already had that experience in kindergarten, so they knew the building, they knew some of the rules, and it just made a really nice transition for them.
That is a great opportunity for the kids. And the nice thing about you guys is if you want to trust your kids to somebody, you can't do better than the Lima City Schools and LACCA. I mean, you guys you're real teachers, you're certified, you're going to take care of the kids. Okay. How many kids can you accept in this program?
Right now we're funded for 96.
And I imagine it fills up quickly.
It sure does.
Yes.
Okay. How do parents sign the kids up?
They can call me directly at 419-996-3694. And if I don't answer, they can always leave a message and I'll return a call, and they can fill out a registration form, which are in the offices at Heritage Elementary.
Wonderful.
And they also can look at the LACCA Facebook page, so there's information on how to register there as well.
Wonderful. Well, it's a great opportunity, and I certainly encourage parents to take advantage of it. Thank you both for coming in today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Dawn Smith and Phyllis Montrose from Kindergarten Camp. When we come back, we'll get a parks update from the city of Lima right after this on GTV2.
I'm Deborah Norville. If you know a veteran who seems angry or sad or isolated, you may be seeing warning signs of depression or suicide. The VA is ready to help. Call 1-800-273-TALK and press 1.
He said he would let me play ball with the older boys if I did what he said. He said it would be our secret, and he'd beat me up if I told. And now he wants another favor tomorrow. I just want to play ball.
Say no. Run away. Scream. It's okay to tell an adult you trust if someone is hurting you or making you uncomfortable. Feel safe. Feel strong. Feel free.
Help keep the youth of Lima safe by donating to Lima Safety City today. Hello, I'm Chuck Eichelberger from the Lima Noon Optimist Club. Safety City is a very important part of the Lima community. The Optimist Club is renovating Safety City and it needs your help. Donations can be made by going to the website limasafetycity.org. You can also send a donation to Lima Noon Optimist Club, P.O. Box 428, Lima, Ohio 45802. Help keep the youth of Lima safe by donating to Safety City today.
Storm drains lead to the river. Our river is closer than you think. What are you doing to protect it?
Welcome back to Community Focus. I'm Ann Decker. This is gearing up for the busy season at the Lima Parks, and here in the studio today is Rick Stolley. He is the Director of Parks and Recreation. Thanks for being here.
It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
You're taking registration for Playground program already.
Playground program is, sign up is on. So, again, a reminder to folks at home, 4 playground sites, Dr. Martin Luther King, Lincoln Park, Robb Park, and Froat Park are our 4 sites again this year. We will take up to 60 kids per site. We'll have 4 of our rec leaders at each site, so we try to keep it at a 15-to-1 ratio with kids to counselors for those sites. And again, included in that effort are a number of things, but field trips, we'll be taking a number of those. We're still finalizing some of that process. We'll have people come and visit the parks with different types of activities, from health and wellness to some of the discovery moments, of different things. We'll be working with Beth Seibert and her team with just the Ottawa River Coalition, some of the things that we did last year, follow up to some of the things we did last year, which were getting down and getting to know a little bit more about our river, which is always great for the kids. We're also going to be bringing, last year we actually brought in the Zoo to You from Columbus, and we're finalizing some plans to do something very similar to that again this year, where they bring in 8 to 10 different animals that they come to your site, and it's a terrific educational opportunity for the kids. So all that going on, of course, we'll wrap up that'll all begin June 9th, so about a month from now we'll be rolling that out. So you got a month to get registered. We've got, if you live in the city, it's $30 for the summer, and you're there from roughly 8:30 to 3:30 in the afternoon. Every Friday we make a visit to the pool and have a great time there. And then we get into, it's an 8-week program. We'll wrap up the first part of August with our Expo Week, with just a lot of different things going on that week, culminating with a big cookout at Schoonover Pool that last Friday. We bring in hot dogs and all kinds of things. We just have a real nice little picnic at the pool that last day. So it's a great summer for the kids 6 to 12 years of age. And we ask that you come in to get signed up. There's a little packet of information. When you take on this, we talk about the care, custody, and control of these kids for the Monday through Friday. There's enough paperwork that you need to fill out just to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Sure.
So some of it's for the grant writing that monies that we receive through our process. Some of it's obviously contact information, emergency contact information, all those things. The kids are very well supervised, and it's a very well organized event. This year, Deshaun Bates will be heading up the program for us, Lima senior grad, and he's down at Ohio State now, and Brett Ream has done all the coordinating with the program in the off season. So we're putting it all together. Now we'll roll it out on the 9th of June.
All right. So they just come to your office to get the packet?
Yes, they come in, fill out the packet, and for the most part, you should be able to, until things start filling up. Again, we'll take 60 per site, but if you live on the north end and you want your kids to go to Robb, then I advise to get in sooner than later.
Yeah, don't wait.
Yes, because they will fill up, and then we'll have to, if you still want to be in the program, you may have to drive a little bit further for your recreation site for this season. So if you want to go to a specific park, get in early, get your registration in, and we'll take care of making that happen. The kids get a t-shirt, and of course we give them lunch every day through the Lima City's lunch program. So it's a terrific program. It's been going on. I participated in it when I was a kid, and it takes on a different look these days, and it's smaller just from the demographics, but it is a terrific way for kids to enjoy the summer.
And the summer playground program is not the only thing going on in the parks. You're doing what, baseball right now?
Baseball and softball will begin tonight. This is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. We are ready to go this This we've been on the show a couple times talking about the sign-ups and everything. That's been complete. The uniform's been ordered. The kids been put on teams. Schedules are done. Umpires have been assigned. First pitch tonight, 6:15, and we'll be ready to go with softball. 3rd and 4th graders start tonight at different venues throughout the community. Shawnee, Bath, Elida, of course, our city parks, Lima, and so all those sites will be up and running very shortly, and parents and grandparents and folks will be coming out to the park to enjoy watching these youngsters play, and it's really a lot of fun. It really is.
So go out and watch. If you're not part of the team, it's still fun to watch.
Bring a lawn chair or grab a seat in the bleachers and enjoy the opportunity to watch the kids and the grandkids, because they love it when people come out to the games. They're a little nervous, and they're all about learning. Some of them are just learning the game, but and it's something that's been terrific over the years, is watching that whole team concept develop. The commitment, the competition, and the learning process. So for boys and girls, there's nothing. I've always been a proponent of recreational activities for learning some of life skills, and we certainly build that into all the programs we do.
When does Schoonover Pool open?
We are shooting for the, let me think here, it'll be right around that first week of June. We're kind of waiting to see when the staff is going to be able to get in with schools getting out. It's going to be that first Saturday, I think, in June. We haven't actually looked at the final date, but I think it's going to be right around the 12th or 13th, somewhere in there. But we'll get that out to
Hopefully
people.
It'll be pool weather by then.
Well, yeah, that's something that's kind of snuck up on us a little bit. With the weather being what it is through April and May. We've been out there. We've got some things cleaned up and moving in that direction. The pool's had a little bit of patching needed to be done, but we're trying to, in between raindrops, getting that done. But we're looking forward to the pool getting up and running here the first part of June.
Okay. We also want to give a plug to the Lima Energy Savers program.
We do. It's been an ongoing process. We're still trying to invite and involve 750 of our closest friends in the community to get into this effort, and it really is something that the Lima community benefit from. Just a reminder to folks: if you're buying a new appliance, we're pushing Energy Star types of refrigerators, washers, dryers, what have you. The local dealerships, the vendors for appliances are involved in this program with us. You fill out some paperwork and you send it in. If you're going to recycle an old refrigerator or an old appliance, we ask you to be involved in that process as well. You'll get a rebate for the recycling. For when you buy something, a new appliance, you also get some recycling dollars back for recycling an old appliance. And each time we do one of those two things, we get a point. There's also a couple of other opportunities. The one that we've actually been pushing, because everyone can do this. Not everyone's going to buy a refrigerator or a stove or what have you, but you can go online and check it out. It's a checkup tool, and if you go to the City of Lima's recreational site through the city's webpage and scroll down, there's a URL there that's you can go on and click on, and if you have an account with AEP that you may do your billing online, and instead of doing the paperless thing, instead of receiving the bill, you go right into your account and you take a survey. You answer about 9 or 10, 12 questions and hit calculate, and we get a point. If you live in the city of Lima, you go through that process, we get a point closer to that 750, which is our goal. And with that, AEP is going to help us underwrite a new lighting system for Simmons Field, where the Locos will be playing. We've also have some high school activities going on there as well. And so it's a process that we've been working on. We're confident the City of Lima is going to continue to help push so we can get to that 750. But everyone in town should have received a mailer last week touting the project. We sent it to every resident in the city, business and residential, to get involved with this process. And Lima's always responded well with these types of activities when we've been challenged. And we look forward to seeing, the Lima community step up for this.
Okay, Rick, if people want more information about anything we've talked about, do they just give you a call? Can they get it on the web?
They can. They can give us a call, 221-5195. At our office, we're open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. You can stop in. Again, we really encourage you to get in and get those playground registration packets filled out. And it's going to take about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how many kids you're going to bring in. Some folks want to bring in 3 or 4 kids, their own kids, and get them signed up. So it might take a little bit longer than that, but it's well worth it. It's something that we strongly encourage you to come in and get signed up before the program starts, so that you get your choice of park that you want your child to participate at this summer.
All right, we appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you, Ann.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Rick Stolle from Lima's Parks Department. When we come back, we'll talk about retirees' medical plans right after this on GTV2.
Oh, good. A family wants to live here. It's been so long since I've had kids in my bedrooms. Wait, what's wrong with them? I love kids. Well, you can't find anything wrong with them. They look nice and so polite. No, nobody's ever going to live in me if you keep turning people away.
Been denied housing? Call the Lima Allen Council on Community Affairs. Our Fair Housing Services will look into the complaint at no cost to you.
My joints ached and I was always tired.
I was always cold, I couldn't concentrate, and my body hurt all over.
My doctor told me I had lupus. Women of childbearing age, and especially African American women, are at higher risk.
If you suspect that you have lupus, you should contact your doctor.
You're invited to attend the local lupus support group meetings on the second Thursday of each month at 1 o'clock at Lima Towers. For further information, go to connectedhands.org.
Thank you for contacting the Ohio Utilities Protection Service before you dig, because knowing where underground utilities are located matters. It matters for the safety of your crew, the job schedule. It matters to the customers you serve, and it's the law. You can call us or go to oups.org to put the safe digging process in motion, because keeping Ohio safe every time you dig matters most.
We're back on Community Focus. I'm Ann Decker. If you have a medical plan through a former employer, it might have changed. Have you checked? Here in the studio today is Pam Fitzgerald. She is with the Lima Allen
County Council on Aging.
Council on Aging. That's a mouthful right there. And we're here to talk about medical plans because they are changing.
Absolutely. And if you're getting mail that you're not reading, it could be detrimental to your insurance policy. They are charging premiums for, actually it's not premiums, they're charging, what do I want to call it, penalties for some of the insurance policies because you haven't proven that you have had creditable insurance for the last year, 2 years, whatever, and even though you've got a previous policy from your past employer, that doesn't mean it's still effective the same way you had it when you left there.
Well, how are you supposed to know?
Read your paperwork, and if you're really confused, call someone, call us. If you don't know what you're reading, call us. We'll make phone calls for you if you need that.
So if the plans change, the seniors are being notified, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what, they look for a letter in the mail, a phone call?
Letter in the mail is usually what we're seeing, and then they bring them into our office and say, why is my wife's insurance getting an extra $30 a month charge? Then we start making phone calls. Then we get the paperwork together, we fax it for them. We do help them with it because they are not always on top of things.
Well, and insurance is so confusing. You don't really know what's going on.
No.
And there are so many scams out there that when you get a letter in the mail, you look at it and you go, is it real or isn't it? You just don't know.
Exactly. And if you've always had good insurance, you think you still have it, but the plans are allowed to change.
Why are they changing so much these days?
We aren't sure. The cost for everyone, the cost of all medical procedures, doctors, everything is going up, so they are paying less. Sometimes the policies are paying less.
Mm-hmm.
You need your Medicare. We always stress that. Be sure you've got your Medicare, and that if you have questions on Medicare, go online, medicare.gov. A big thing is the difference between being an outpatient and an inpatient at the hospital also. If you're an outpatient, they don't cover hospital costs. If you're there 3 days as an outpatient, you're going to pay that hospital bill.
Oh, wow. People can't afford that.
No. So always, if you don't have access to a computer or don't know how to use it, get someone that does or call us. We can go on Medicare.gov and look up the information.
You're making my head spin with all this stuff. And I'm sure it's the same for the viewers, too.
It is.
But that's why you're here. You offer services to help see.
Exactly.
Is it free?
It is free. We work with donations only.
Okay. That's wonderful. How are you funded then?
We are funded with levies, grants, and donations.
Okay. So do people just call you? Do they show up with the letters they've received? What do they need to bring?
We prefer they call and bring all those letters with them because there's only 3 of us in the office that work with it, and it's usually by appointment only because we're also out at people's houses doing things. So we prefer that you call ahead and ask to speak to one of the outreach specialists, and we'll set up an appointment and go through the paperwork with you and make the necessary phone calls.
Okay. At what age do you consider people to be seniors?
Our agency starts at 60.
60. And really, that includes quite a few people anymore.
Exactly. We start at 60.
You've got a whole lap full of information, too. You want to show us what you brought?
Mainly the agency booklet. And then this is an information directory that we pass out to everyone. It's like a senior's phone book, the things that they call us for.
What a fabulous resource.
We put this out for everyone. I see them all over town.
I think we've got some in our lobby here,
I think you do too.
Is there anything else you'd like the seniors to know right now?
That is the important thing. I'm really concerned with the documentation because we've seen way too many of them. 5 is too many in my book because they need to read and find out what's going on with their insurance.
Okay, Pam, how do they contact you?
419-228-5135. You will get a live person answering that phone. Tell them you need to speak to someone about your insurance.
Wonderful. We appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Pam Fitzgerald from the Allen County Council on Aging. I'm Ann Decker, and this is Community Focus on GTV2.
Come and discover Art Space Lima right here in downtown Lima. We're a world-class art gallery featuring works by local, regional, and national artists throughout the year. Beautiful works of art of all kinds, traditional and contemporary paintings, photographs, ceramics, and sculpture. Come and shop the beautiful and unique items for sale in the gift shop. We offer workshops taught by award-winning instructors so you and your kids can explore your creative side. Come and see what you've been missing. Discover Art Space Lima today.
Welcome to the City of Lima Department of Community Development. I'm Amy Odom, Director of Community Development. Within this department, 6 different programs operate to improve community and economic quality of life for all Lima citizens. Housing programs provide first-time homeowner training and down payment assistance and offers low-interest loans and emergency repair grants for qualified homeowners. Planning Services accepts requests for lot splits, alley vacations, rezoning, and zoning variances. Planning also coordinates strategic land use efforts for business and neighborhood development. Acquisition and resale of tax delinquent properties for commercial and residential use are coordinated through the Lima Land Bank program. Economic development activities also include oversight of state and federal grants, administration of tax abatement programs, and a variety of business retention and attraction efforts. Neighborhood support offers capacity building training and organizational resources to the 13 existing neighborhood associations within Lima and encourages the development of neighborhood partnerships between the city, citizens, businesses, and other service providers. Property Maintenance Code Enforcement enforces city ordinances on the maintenance of existing structures by inspection and citation for violations. Dealing with weeds, trash, and structural issues, over 4,000 inspections are made each year by city inspectors.
Lima City Council has recently amended the city's vicious dog ordinance to deal with potential problems concerning dangerous dogs in the public.
The ordinance is comprehensive. However, here are some key elements that all dog owners and their neighbors should be aware of.
Any dog that is considered a breed of pit bull is considered a vicious dog regardless of its temperament.
A vicious dog is any dog that attacks, bites, or causes injury to a person or domestic animal with or without provocation.
Not under control of the owner, and secured with a muzzle and a leash of 6 feet or less in length. All vicious dogs must be confined when outside in a pen with a secured top and bottom, or with the sides of the pen embedded at least 1 foot deep into the ground.
If you're a dog owner and have concerns about any dogs in your neighborhood, visit limapolicedepartment.com to find out more about the city's vicious dog ordinance.
The fine for non-compliance is $150 per citation, and ignorance of the law is not a defense.
If there's an emergency situation, call local law enforcement for immediate assistance.
Beautiful Tuesday morning, and always this short period of time from now until 8:30, welcoming representatives of the city of Lima. Lima Mayor Dave Berger is our in-studio guest with his I love voting, or actually that's the state of Ohio in the heart. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Mike.
Obviously, you have exercised your democratic option and have voted this morning on a primary election. I was trying to figure out, I honestly think I've only missed like 5 or fewer elections in the however many years I've been able to vote over the years. So,
well, I'm proud to be able to say I've never missed an opportunity either in a primary or general election since 1972 when I was first eligible to vote. And while I certainly appreciate the idea of early voting and believe it's a really good option for many people, I really like voting on Election Day,
right?
Because I like to see how campaigns roll out, and you always learn things during campaigns, which I think have a lot to do with what the final decision should be.
Right.
So, again, Election Days are, I think, special days. I certainly want to encourage others to get out to vote today. I was number 3 at the poll about 15 minutes ago, so there are not many who are turning out, and I think that it isn't on people's radar screens because there isn't too much of controversy, and the number of contested races are very minimal this time.
Right. Yeah, I see. Now I would differ with you on the lengthy voting period. I'm a traditionalist in that sense, where I like the election day. But what they should have they should have doubled it and just had a second election day, not a month, 2 months, or whatever. I think they demeaned and lessened the value of the vote and took away the obligation of the voter to really understand the issues by extending the voting period so long. But everybody sees it differently, right?
Well, I think there are differing circumstances for folks where either travel or sometimes even illness gets in the way of your ability to do that. So I think being as flexible as the system now is a good thing.
And speaking of elections today, I guess the issue that encompasses all throughout, a lot in this region, certainly Allen
Auglaize
and Hardin County, with the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board, and they've been rather prominent in their efforts, Mr. Shanehofer and company, and they lost a razor-thin vote last time in a general election, much a bigger turnout, and we'll see what happens here. Huh?
Well, I think they have run, in both the last time and this time, they've run a very effective campaign. I think both illustrating the need, which is a $3 million loss that they've suffered due to cuts that they received from Columbus, but also the real use of existing resources for prevention as well as for treatment. And I think the range of their programs really do benefit our communities, and we're talking literally every person in Allen County who has the opportunity, young and old, to benefit from what they're doing. So I'm really hopeful that this time around the voters in all 3 counties will step up and say yes, so that they can expand what they're doing, replace the lost state funds, and get about the business of helping children grow up and those with mental health needs to, in fact, have the kinds of services they need for a reasonable quality of life.
One of the important issues on the ballot, of course, throughout the region, not specifically in Lima, there are the usual host of school issues, and again, obviously some partisan races with the primary, with the respective political parties. So get out and vote, and our coverage will get underway tonight after the polls close at 7:30. Last night, Mayor, with the City Council, certainly talking about some infrastructure issues that the city and many communities face, certainly with the various aspects of the sewer system in the city. And these can be some expensive propositions, can't they?
They can, and last night I think illustrated that we had two major ordinances. One has to do with sewers that occurred during the middle of the winter, and these were in several locations in the city where the sewers literally caved in, one in which had a car on top of it and had really dangerous circumstances connected with it. But the unique aspect of this was that these sewers were so deep and so large, we did not have equipment. We just aren't organized for that type of sewer repair. So we had to go out to a contractor. We had to engage that contractor on an emergency basis and do the repairs. So last night, council had to authorize that and authorize the payment of those repairs. The second had to do with the results of about a year of inspecting the storm sewers. We have a contractor that has been putting sewer cameras in the storm sewers and videotaping the condition of those sewers. They've now determined some high priority repairs that we needed to do, and last night council authorized us to go in with a special in-place repair system in which a balloon-like bladder gets very flexible material is inserted into the pipe, and it's forced down the pipe, and then it's kind of blown up, and then hot water is put into that pipe, and what that does is trigger a heat related reaction, and suddenly that very flexible balloon material becomes hard like a rock. And because it's been forced up against the walls of the outer sewer, which is in place, it then holds everything in place, and it'll be good for 40 or 50 years, and we won't have to dig up any of those sewers. It's a really neat system.
That is, somebody came up with some fine technology there, didn't they?
That's right. I mean, it's a unique material, and it again, it reacts to the heat of hot water, and then ultimately transforms into a very solid piece of infrastructure.
All right, I like that. Any way to save money with new technology, and of course the city is busy with that. Some of the underground aspects of Lima and all cities can become aged over time. News Talk 1150 WIMA on this Tuesday morning, welcoming representatives of the city of Lima. Mayor Dave Berger is our in-studio guest, and your calls at 224-1150. Let's go right to the phones this morning. Mayor Jack from Lima is on with us. Jack, go ahead.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, I know this may sound trivial compared to everything that's going on in the world today, but the new street lights, I know it seemed like it took a long time to get those turned on, and shortly after they got turned on, somebody took one out on the 1000 block of Market Street.
Right.
Back in January or February, and it still hasn't been replaced. There's an orange barrel sitting on top of it.
Right. We actually had 7 of them taken out by automobiles. So we've been the parts are on order. I mean, those are far more than the damages were more than what we had in inventory. So we're in the process of getting those repairs done.
Okay, great. Hey, thanks. That's all I needed. Have a great day.
All right. Yep. It sounds like a guy there who likes the look and the light, and who doesn't? But you're telling me as many as 7 of those have been hit by vehicles?
Right. And we've been amazing. My reaction was, did we make those light poles out of magnets? Because there seemed to be attracting automobiles. And but it's really been an unusual amount of damage, and we're hopeful that we just have we're through that period, and the moon has decided it's not going to be full anymore, and we can get around these kinds of occurrences in the future.
You know, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you, but I've noticed this, and a few others have, that they're so bright up and down Market and the and on the near east side, so bright in a good way, obviously, that I think some people forget if they're just diving out on the street, they may have their lights off on their vehicles, and it's 9 or 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, I had not noticed that.
Yeah, so
the other thing we are still in the midst of doing with that project is working with AEP to remove the old gooseneck posts and fixtures. So that part of the process is also underway, and it'll be the end of the summer before all of that work is done, and we'll have the new lights up, the old lights down, and all the overhead wires will have been removed as well.
Have another one regarding travel and traffic. I don't have the email in front of me, but it was from earlier this week regarding school zone posted speed limits. I know this may not be your expertise 100%. How often or why often in school zones when it says posted speed limit, but it doesn't actually list what the speed limit is? That's because one assumes we should know what it is by Ohio bylaws, or it's just the nature of that sign?
Well, I think that normally it does specify a 25-mile-an-hour speed zone for schools. What we often get into is a question of when it applies. Mm-hmm. And because schools all have differing calendars as well as times of day that they operate, we simply have to operate on kind of a common sense approach. If there's a sense that school is in place, and I think the police officers actually take a reasonable approach on this, mm-hmm. So that folks just need to be aware that during school hours they need to be paying attention in a special way.
All right, the differing school calendar year and the rigidity of the various speed limits is what you're talking about, right?
Correct. And when you look at in the city, we have 21 different school locations. Mm-hmm. And for all the public and parochial schools, it's impossible to know, much less post in a public way, what all of those calendars are and what their operating hours are. So we just have to be generally aware and paying attention.
All right. Excellent. Let's stay with the street situation, and now that the good weather is virtually here, I guess the much anticipated opening of the asphalt plant for the city of Lima is now open. Huh?
The asphalt plant is open. We have had for at least 10 days. We've had 2 crews out filling potholes, and this is with permanent fixes, mm-hmm. not just the temporary cold mix that we used to use during the winter. And so we are beginning what will be, I think, probably 3 months of pothole repair just to overcome the damages that the winter weather brought about.
Seems to me I saw Alan last week also talking about alley repair at some point. To what extent does the city work on alleys? Surely there's not an equal expenditure on filling potholes in alleys like there is on streets.
Well, what we do, most alleys are not paved.
Right.
Most alleys are stoned, so that what we do this time of the year is we'll have a crew that attends and goes out and dresses all of those alleys, and that means regrading them. In some instances, it means bringing in additional truckloads of stone, but essentially trying to get it back to a serviceable and reasonable terrain.
I know last year at this time there was an intersection up on the north side of town that just to the side of the intersection there was a gaping pothole, and I just simply called the city, and within like 2 days they had came out. Is there still that potential, without making guarantees, if people see areas that they may have concerns, they're free to call the city?
Sure. I mean, some potholes we all know change and get more dangerous, and some erupt after particularly a rain event. You'll see a lot of washouts take place. So mm-hmm. we want to know if there are those kinds of things happening, and the only way we'll know, because we can't be on all the streets all the time, is for the public to call.
All right. Very good. 8:26, still just a few minutes, but still time for you to call if you have questions regarding activities in the city of Lima with Mayor Berger. As the springtime is certainly upon us, last Saturday began the citywide Pride cleanup. It'll happen again this week, again on the 17th, and then the 31st wrapping up of the month, and that's an event that has been going on for a number of years now, the Citywide Pride Cleanup. It's done a lot of good, hasn't it?
I think that it has been an absolutely terrific way that we start every spring, both with the Ottawa River cleanup, but then with the 4 weekends of cleanup in our neighborhoods. And it allows neighborhood groups, but then it engages every person in a given area where the dumpsters are located to actually take care of their property in a special spring cleanup and get it out and dress it up in a way that gets it ready for the season. All righty. Plus, it just kind of reminds everybody of their own obligation to some degree with their properties. That's right. Yeah. And it's done in a way that it's at minimal cost to individuals and to the community, and I think that ultimately makes a very positive impression of our community. Still about 3 minutes remaining. We do have another call this morning. Doug from Lima, you're on with Mayor Berger. Doug, go ahead.
Yeah, Mayor, I got an easy one for you.
Yes, sir.
Since you're talking about lights. I go down Cable Road quite a bit, and the old Walmart store, are you familiar with that?
Yes, sir.
That big parking lot? Is that the city of Lima, or is that American Township?
The old Walmart location is inside the city, correct.
Okay, I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
This has been going on for about 2 years, and I just don't have time to call you. But they got about 12 poles out there, these gigantic lights. They're on all day long. I mean, to me, that's a waste of money. I don't know if that's Walmart, that owns it or what.
Well, those would be the developer, the property owner that actually has those operating. And I'm not sure why that would be. I've not noticed that they've been on during the day, but that is at the property owner's discretion.
All right. I just can't believe somebody leaves that many lights on, all day long.
Yeah,
I mean, they're big lights too.
Right. All right, Doug.
Who would I contact?
Well, there's I'm sure a phone number on a sign for renting space. That may be the best place to make the call.
Next time I go by there, I'll see if I can find it.
Right.
I mean, to me, that's ridiculous.
All right, Doug, you're talking to a guy who turns off lights around the house all the time, so I'm sympathetic. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
I'll turn my lights off when I go to bed at night.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Doug. 8:29, still about a minute. Things are getting real busy downtown these days, Mayor, with Elizabeth Street and around those settings. Just a word of caution for travelers, right?
Yes, and I think people are really cooperating. It's been a very good project for us. The contractor's doing an outstanding job working with the existing space and also the traffic that's around them. And I think the quality of their work is very apparent to everybody that's passing, both on Elizabeth and on West Street.
All right. Mayor, as always, wish we had more time. You've voted already. We surely invite the others that are registered voters to get out before 7:30 today. Right?
We really hope people take advantage of this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Enjoy the sunshine.
Thank you.
We're not doing well, Allen County. Almost 70% of our adults are overweight.
And close to 40% of our children.
We eat the wrong foods.
We smoke too much.
We don't exercise nearly enough.
We can do better.
We can do better.
We can do better.
Activate Allen County is working with schools, churches, businesses, and local government to influence policies that will help us all do better.
We can do better for me.
For me. For all of us.
Join the effort to help Allen County do better by going to activateallencounty.com. Paid for with funding through a grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.